The Bay Harbor Butcher is one of our own. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. Frank Lundy is closing in on the Bay Harbor Butcher. But who is it? It's someone from the Miami Metro Department. Is it Dexter? Is it Doakes? Is it Masuka and his love for porn? I don't know, maybe he's creating butcher porn. We do not know, but Lundy's already checked Masuka's email, so I don't think it's Masuka, but Frank Lundy's on the case. Frank Lundy always finds his man, and is he closing in on his man in Season 2, Episode 9, Resistance is Futile.
Lundy always gets his motherfucker, and he's going to get his motherfucker. He's going to get it this episode right here, right now. Lundy is a tough nut to crack, but he manages to crack every single one of them open, like that wee guy for the Ice Age.
Like a coconut. So we see Dexter, we start the episode with him trailing a body through the department. We just see him dragging something, and someone almost slips, and Lundy's like, "What are you doing, Dexter? You can't leave this is a crime scene. You can't leave it like this." And then we see Batista pick up a foot. He's like, "Oh, Dexter, you can't leave this shit lying around." And he throws the foot at Dexter, and we can see that the body Dexter's dragging through the Miami department is Jimenez. However, he wakes up, and instead of Batista throwing a foot at him, it's the morning newspaper being thrown, and Dexter's fell asleep outside Rita's house. He was checking to see that no more intruders, aka Lila, broke in, and it appears Lila has not broke in. Rita comes out, questions, "What the hell are you doing here, Dex, in last night's clothing?" Dex says he fell asleep. He kind of apologizes. He goes pretty deep. He says he made a mistake. Rita says, she's glad to hear that Lila was a mistake, but she can't forgive what he done. And then Dexter just leaves without getting any pancakes with Cody and Astor. So
No pancakes.
no pancakes. I mean, Dexter, what a weird guy though. I mean, the guy's sitting out here making sure nothing happens. For someone that doesn't care, he kind of does care.
And he absolutely does, that's the problem, but can he admit it? Lila didn't interfere though. He was a good guy. Paper almost cracked him up with them as well.
Yeah, Dexter then plans to go to the Everglades, but he can't because he's been watched by the FBI, and he decides, well, either I go to the Everglades and possibly get caught with this tail, or I turn right and I go to work, and he ends up going to work. Debs and Lundy are in bed. Lundy says he doesn't want to hide the relationship, but Deborah does. Is Deborah maybe ashamed to admit that she is sleeping with someone who is old enough to be her dad? Well, people think that maybe she's trying to sleep her way to the top like Dexter suggested. Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like, but it ain't when you're in the inside circle of two people. I think she does like Lundy. It's not just a case of sleeping to the top.
Lundy, though, gets a phone call, and then he literally disappears like a ninja. So it was an important
like a bat out of hell.
He was gone. He told her that you only weigh about 50 pounds, so go and eat some quiche. And he was gone. He was done. He was finished. He was out of there. He didn't even have breakfast. He was on his way to learn about the break in the Bay Harbor Butcher. At the Miami Metro station, we get some more details. Dexter has to contend with a bunch of FBI technicians in his office, and they're just pissing him off. Dexter's a solo kind of guy who likes to work alone. Now he's got all these suits telling him what to do. Asking for his passports? I mean, come on. I think Dexter's the kind of guy that gives out passports.
He sat down and he's looking at me over the shoulder. No, spam it, type it in fast.
Yeah, obviously Dexter's slides are missing. Dexter doesn't know this, but Doakes does, because he took a plane to Haiti, where he meets up with an old colleague in Leon. And he asked for a discreet laboratory that can analyze the slides, but Leone's, he's out of that business now. He just works for his father-in-law, who he points out he really doesn't fucking like. His father-in-law is a pain in the ass, but he doesn't do any dangerous shit anymore. He doesn't do any of that dodgy shit. He wants to earn a normal living by giving out tours of Haiti. But Doakes says that he will purchase the most expensive tour as long as Leon's can get him into a laboratory so he can analyze the slides. And then Leon's agrees. He wants to see the slides, but Stokes says he doesn't have them because he's left them in America. But he will get them here at a later date once the meeting and laboratory has been confirmed. So, Doakes, what do you make of Leone's? I thought he was a decent character. I like the
Yeah, for his odd wee appearance, but was it the correct thing for Doakes to do? go to like a different country in order to like not get it tracked to him and for the police not to find out about it? Or should he have went to Lundy? Should he have went to Ligurta about this? What do you think he should have done? Because I think doing this ran the risk of this thing getting pinned on him, and it's exactly what's happened.
Well, true, but he didn't think that. He probably thought by doing this he can bring Dexter down.
Yeah, but surely if he goes to well, what's the worst case scenario if he brings these blood slides to Lundy?
If Lundy accuses the blood slides of being his, I don't know.
Yeah, but if he says he found them in Dexter's apartment, why would... Well, I guess only Lundy could really accuse Doakes of incriminating Dexter, framing him.
Yeah, so, I don't know. He's in a...
But let's be real, right? It's the same outcome. Say he goes to this secret laboratory and he gets all the IDs for these people.
Maybe it just was confirmation before handing them over.
True.
What do you mean true? That could be a case. Maybe he doesn't want to look like a dipshit. Maybe he doesn't want to accuse Dexter of doing something. But in reality, maybe this is just Dexter's family and he's keeping a wee blood slide of them for...
Nah, no one does that though.
What normal people keep blood slides...
There was 18 victims
and normal people keep blood slides anyway?
No one keeps blood slides.
Yeah, but you were making it as if it's because he's got family members potentially. The fact he's got blood slides is not normal.
No, you're the one that said about family members. Of course he wouldn't have the fucking family members.
But you're suggesting that you wouldn't have blood slides for family members. You wouldn't have blood slides for anything.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah, so there you go.
Unless it was, I don't even know what would be your fucking reasoning for it.
Anyway, Dexter hears this strange but familiar English voice in the station, and it turns out to be Lila. Lila is there, however, she's not there for Dexter, she's there for Batista, and she has invited herself to drinks, basically, with Dexter's co-workers. Dexter, obviously, isn't interested in Lila, but when Lila invites Dexter and says, maybe you should come along because I might spill some of your dark secrets at this point where Dexter's like, fuck it, I need to go. Obviously, he doesn't really want to be there, but a drunk woman and Lila could spill secrets, whereas a dead body and Jimenez ain't going to talk.
I like that wee line for Dexter, absolutely. And how much is he going to put up with Lila before doing acting? Going against the code? Will the code be broke? Or will he just let it to ramble on and potentially spill?
Yeah, so Lila goes to the toilet. Dexter confronts her in there in the bathroom. Some woman tries to come in, but Dexter forces her out.
Out of order.
Says out of order. He tells her that they're not going to be together anymore. They're not good for each other. That Dexter is just going to... He says he's going to deal with his addiction. But she says she knows the real Dexter and she isn't afraid of him. But Dexter is adamant that she should be. Then some guy comes in, says, "What you doing, punk? This is women's only." And then he asks Lila, "Is he bothering you?" And Lila says yes. Why didn't Dexter just like whip out the forensics card and be like, "Look at me.
Yeah, I'm doing some work in here.
I'm analysing the toilets.
I'm Miami Metro.
Piss splatter.
Piss splatter up the wall."
Back at the apartment, Dexter realises his blood slides are gone, and at this moment, he knows he's done. He knows that he is fucked. But before he can even react, the door goes, and the FBI agents have come knocking for him, and they're bringing him into the station. It's an order. So yeah, there's nothing. Now, Deborah was here, and Deborah almost caught Dexter looking in the shaft, the ventilation shaft, to find his blood slides. He leaves, and Deborah's like, what's happening here? Why am I not being called in? And Dexter apologises, basically thinking he's going to get caught. At the station, he arrives. Lundy and Captain Thomas are sitting there, and he is presented with the blood slide box. And Dexter looks at it. They ask him, "Explain this." And Dexter goes, "Trophies." And they're like, "Just exactly what we thought." So Dexter's like, what happens next, assuming that they believe that the blood slides belong to him and that he is now the Bay Harbor Butcher. And it's at this point where Lundy reveals that their prime suspect is someone that Dexter knows very well. Of course, that being James Doakes.
They've done this very well to make it so obvious it was Dexter, but it was actually Doakes.
So it turns out that when Doakes left the country to go to Haiti, that gave Lundy the ability, that gave him the legal right to get a search warrant, and they searched his car and they found the slides in his car. Then they go on to speak about how Dexter might know something about Doakes, possibly because Doakes has had a really hard on for Dexter, so to speak, and Dexter then plays along and he says, yeah, he always thought there was something off about Doakes. I mean, it's the complete opposite, but Dexter's just spinning it around, whereas Doakes is the one that's always knew there was something off about Dexter, but now Dexter's just spinning it around and he's basically saying that he knew since day one that Doakes had something wrong with him.
Yeah, he's cool as ice, Officer Morgan. He is, man. Spun it right around here. But would some people in the department not think that Doakes thought that about Dexter? But I guess they weren't really privy to this conversation. It was all
I don't think Doakes has made it a secret that he thinks he's a weird motherfucker.
Yeah, so...
Lundy puts a protective FBI detail on Dexter, but this doesn't help Dexter at all because he likes to sneak around, he likes to be able to do things, and now he can't because he's being watched everywhere he goes. Then we get this awkward scene where Dexter is in the middle of these two in the back seat, and he has a phone call with Rita. Basically, they explain that they're going to meet up with each other, and he's going to come over and explain what happened, and they're going to try and get together, and yeah, it's just awkward. Dexter sitting in the back seat with these two FBI agents.
It was funny, shoulder to shoulder, packed in like sardines, talking about cheating on his girlfriend. It's like, yeah, it's over. And he's like, the key is conversation, talking. And the black guy just was like, no, it's not, big man.
Obviously, he's had a bad...
It's like, it's pretending to get milk and leaving your kids.
Obviously, he's just had a bad relationship and doesn't want to play into this. Dexter's put in charge of lead forensic. He's the lead technician in analysing the slides, and then he begins to order the FBI guys around since they were mean to him earlier. He treats them like bums, and he gets a little bit of... satisfaction from this. He tells Batista that Lila is just using him, but Batista says he doesn't care and that he's just happy to be used because he's had a shit couple of months after.
Batista put his cards on the table.
Yeah, I said, you know what? Since the divorce and being stabbed and all this shit with Doakes, I'll happily let someone as hot as Lila use me, and he just ignores Dexter's warnings altogether. Huerta is not believing that Doakes is the man, and she gets a phone call for Doakes. She explains the situation, saying that, like, you're in trouble, you need to come in, but Doakes is like, I can't come in, I need to prove who the real butcher is. And I thought Doakes maybe would have told Huerta that he knows it's Dexter. I don't think that would have done Doakes' case any harm.
No.
Although maybe he would have lost the only person backing him.
Yeah, but if he's... I guess so. They all know about the blood slide, so that's the problem. Doakes has just dug himself a hole here by not telling anyone anything. Like, even the way he walked out of the meeting with Lundy.
Yeah.
Didn't bode well.
Dexter is a blood guy, so if anyone's going to have blood slides, it kind of makes sense it's him. But yeah, maybe Doakes thought that it would just come across as poor from him because he's always had a thing for Dexter, so he thought maybe it would be best if he just kept that to himself and proved it when he has the proof. Huerta tries to reason with Lundy not to put James Doakes' name out there, says that, look, maybe we can talk to him without making it public, but Lundy basically says, no, this is the guy, I'm going to make it public, you're definitely going to cooperate with me, or you're going to be fired, you're going to be looking for a new job. So Lundy not taking any shit here, he's laying down the law.
Yeah, and definitely within reach. Obviously, we know Doakes hasn't done it, but at the end of the day, like, if they think Doakes is the prime suspect, then you've got to fucking go with that, regardless of your relationship to him. Like, Huerta doesn't know for a fact that it's not Doakes.
She kind of does. Gut instinct, I guess.
Yeah, gut instinct, but not 100%.
She urges Deb to talk to Lundy about the press, but Deb says, nah, it's not up to me, it's up to Lundy. She says that you're his pet, he listens to you, but Deborah says, just because I'm sleeping with him doesn't mean he's going to do what I tell him to do. And at this point, Lundy and Batista's walking past, and this puts a relationship out in the open. Batista kind of smirks at Lundy, and then Lundy says to Deborah, are you coming to mine tonight then? And she was like, yeah. So that's it out there, Lundy and Deborah officially in a relationship, I guess, and everyone knows about it.
I guess with Doakes was being accused of like 20 murders, it's kind of irrelevant.
Probably a good wee time to drop in the relationship bomb.
Yeah.
The FBI agents then take Dexter home. Dexter's already made the agreements that Deborah can't be there, she has to move out. He doesn't want to put his sister in danger, but in reality he's just using this as a good opportunity to try and get some freedom and get Deborah out the house. He sneaks through a window while the FBI agents are outside. He says if you see Doakes, shoot him. That's a joking.
That was kind of funny.
But he's not even in the house.
He's being serious, though.
Yeah, he's not even in the house, so Doakes turns up. It's not like Doakes is going to get the Dexter anyway. He sneaked out to the cabin to clean up the murder scene. and he's bringing out the remains of Jimenez in bags. But he notices one bag is opened, and I don't know if it was like the hand or whatever.
I think it was a foot.
Hand or foot. I don't know if it was the direction it was pointed at, but I'm going to assume that Dexter had it closed.
And Doakes has opened it for proof. While he's in between trips.
And then Dexter's looking at it and he's like, what the hell? Why is this bag open? And Doakes is behind him and he's got his gun on. Dexter's like, I knew it. I caught you, motherfucker.
Probably say this is the biggest moment in the show so far. Like, him being caught red-handed by someone that ain't his brother.
Yeah, Doakes is like, Jesus Christ. You're the Bay Harbor Butcher? Dexter's like, I really hate that name. Doakes is like, Jesus Christ. And Dexter's like, you said that already.
Good wee line for Dexter. Even in a situation this serious, the dialogue's still funny.
Doakes then says about how skilled he was and people laughed at him for being a cop. But he says that it's all going to be worth it now when he takes you down. And Dexter's like, you know what, I'm happy for you, I truly am. Doakes says he knew that Dexter was always a fuck-up. He knew there was something always wrong about him. And Dexter says he never held it against Doakes. And to be fair, he didn't really. Up until when Doakes was making it very personal. I mean, yeah. Dexter took all the shit Doakes gave him on the chin.
Absolutely.
I suppose there's not else that much he could do about it, knowing that Doakes is right, so...
That's true, I guess, yeah. But I liked this conversation. I thought it was great. Probably the best scene of the series for me so far, this entire confrontation, I think.
Possibly. It's up there.
Well, right, to this point, I don't know anything later on.
So he says that he found them because of the GPS tracker on the boat, and he's got Dexter red-handed. He tells Dexter to put on the handcuffs. Dexter says, what would you do in my situation? Doakes then says to Dexter, I wouldn't be in your situation, you sick fuck. And Dexter's like, really? Maybe you should ask Frank Lundy about that. So, according to Frank Lundy, that Doakes is Dexter, essentially. Doakes is the Bay Harbor Butcher.
Yeah.
So, Dexter's kind of right in what he's saying here. Doakes is in the same situation as Dexter. I think you could argue right now Doakes is in a worse situation than Dexter.
Yeah, right. No, even at this point, even at Doakes got him at gunpoint, I guess the only thing is, well, they'd be like, well, why is Dexter at his apartment and doing the Everglades?
Yeah, that wouldn't look too good for Dexter, but, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean...
Doakes knowing 100% or 99% doesn't change the narrative of everyone else thinking it's Doakes.
I mean, if Doakes brings Dexter into the station right now, they're probably just going to think he's trying to frame him.
Yeah.
So it's not really a good situation for him. Dexter puts on the handcuffs and he walks towards Doakes. Doakes is like, stay back, don't come closer, what you doing? But Dexter probably knows right now that Doakes can't really afford to kill him.
Yeah.
Because then that just makes Doakes look 100% guilty.
So he takes a bullet in the thigh.
Yeah, he takes a bullet to the knee, a bullet to the leg. Although I think it's only a flesh wound. They fall into the river, and then Dexter ends up choking out Doakes with the handcuffs. He takes him to the cabin, and he imprisons him where the cocaine was being stored by Jimenez. And Dexter then leaves. Doakes wakes up and he yells, "You're gonna have to kill me, Morgan!" And Dexter's outside the cabin thinking, what the fuck am I going to do now? And that's it. That's
and that's the problem. You're right, Doakes couldn't really kill him. Or else I think if it was a question of if he had to kill Dexter, he would have fucking easily...
Like that guy under the bridge?
Yeah, he would have shot him. But the problem is, I just don't see how Doakes gets out of this situation alive now.
It's not looking good for Doakes, like, to be honest.
And what I would say is, he might not necessarily die, but is Dexter really going to let this guy live, knowing the fact that, like, is Dexter even the sort of guy to let him go to jail and rot for this? Even... But how would it...
He was happy to let Paul go to jail.
Nah, that's different, though.
Is it?
I think he likes Doakes a wee bit more than Paul. I think Dexter respects the fact that Doakes actually figured it out.
Possibly.
Well,
plus, Paul was a junkie who mistreated his wife and beat her up. I mean, Doakes is just a guy taking down criminals.
Yeah, but I think it's good night for Doakes.
But, I mean, I guess what we'll get to see Dexter and Doakes have a good chat next episode, and I guess we'll truly find out what they think of each other. And not like Doakes is going to be able to go anywhere or do anything. He's locked in a cage, god damn it.
I wonder what part of Harry's code Dexter's going to fucking read to kill Doakes.
Get those manuscripts out and then start reading them. Anyway, I thought it was a great episode. I think the part where they bring in Dexter and everyone's like looking at him, and he's confronted by Lundy and Matthews, and he's made to sit down. He's presented with a box of slides. You would be forgiven for believing that was the end of the show right there. Dexter's fucked.
Down.
But yeah, I mean, they do the plot twist where it's actually Doakes there as the number one suspect, and yeah, and then the whole Doakes thing at the end. Really, really good episode. I'm going to get a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree. I give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's the best episode of the show so far.
So far?
Yep, I'd go that far as saying that. Really enjoyed it. Can't really fault it. I mean, I think Doakes could have met with a different approach, but again, it's the way he is. I think any other person probably would have went to the cops straight away.
But Doakes, he doesn't really have much backup, does he? As Lundy says, you're not a team player.
You're a solo cat.
You're a solo cat.
You're an outdoor cat.
So yeah, has Doakes got any friends? Is anyone going to come to Doakes' rescue? We'll find out in the next episode. Let's go do it, guys. 9 out of 10. Let us know your thoughts down below. We'll catch you in the next one. And until then, peace.